Powered by the Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
President Trump is on the defense after canceling the Philadelphia Eagles' congratulatory visit to the White House. And Laura Podesta in New York will have reaction to this snap decision.
I'm Chris Martinez in Orange County, California, where a congressional seat could flip from Republican to Republican. How the Democratic candidates could get shut out of a tight race.
Good morning. Happy Tuesday, Southwest Montana, 6:30. Our top story this half hour. President Trump canceled today's White House visit by the Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles.
In a tweet last night, in an official statement, he said only a small number of the players were going to go and cited the protests during the national anthem that have sparked controversy throughout the NFL. CBS's Laura Podesta has more.
The Philadelphia Eagles will not be celebrating their Super Bowl championship at the White House with President Trump. In a statement released less than 24 hours before the event, the president said some members of the team disagree with their president because he insists that they proudly stand for the national anthem, hand on heart, in honor of the great men and women of our military and the people of our country. Wide receiver Torrey Smith, who was not planning on going, said it's a false narrative that NFL players are anti-military. He tweeted, "It's a cowardly act to cancel the celebration because the majority of the people don't want to see you. To make it about the anthem is foolish." Over the past 2 years, some NFL players have kneeled during the national anthem to bring attention to racism and police brutality. None of the Eagles players took a knee last season. President Trump has been an outspoken critic of the practice.
When somebody disrespects our flag, to say, get that son of a bitch off the field right now, out, he's fired. He's fired!
Former Pennsylvania Governor Ed Rendell said President Trump should not have canceled on the Eagles.
But even with a delegation of 10 or 15 players showing up in Jeffrey Lurie, the president should have honored Eagles and Eagles fans by seeing those players in the White House.
President Trump said a different event will be held at the White House today, a tribute to the military that will feature the national anthem. Laura Podesta, CBS News, New York.
Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kenney also released a statement saying, quote, "These are players who stand up for the causes they believe in and who contribute in meaningful ways to their community. They represent the diversity of our nation, a nation which we are free to express our opinions," unquote.
6:32 now on this Tuesday. Meteorologist Matt Elwell joins us. I was just outside a moment ago. Absolutely lovely out there.
Yep.
Very mild, just a little bit of a breeze. I think we should just move the whole show outside.
I'll tell you what, I'll go outside for you here
Okay.
in about 10 minutes. Temperatures this morning, slight chill in the air, but not bad. Into the 40s for most of us. 46 degrees this morning in West Yellowstone. There are some showers showing up on radar. I haven't had any reports. I've been looking for reports of rain. A lot of that evaporating before it hits the ground, but it is showing up on radar. Right now, the clouds trying to build across the area. Chance of thunder showers this afternoon. They'll be widely scattered or isolated in nature. I think things do quiet down as you head into the evening. Slightly cooler forecast for the next couple of days. We'll talk about that, of course, coming up in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Matt. It's now 6:33 in our top Treasure State news for you. The body of a woman has been recovered from the Missouri River in Great Falls. According to the Cascade County Sheriff's Office, the body was found at Ryan Dam around 4 o'clock Monday afternoon by Ryan Dam employees. The identity is unknown at this time. An autopsy is planned for today. Officials say that they don't know if the body that is found is that of Brittany Roberts, a woman that they've been looking for at the Black Eagle Dam.
Closer to home, Bozeman struggling to finish its budget work on time because the needs study won't be finished on time. Last night, commissioners talked about city water and wastewater funds. It was the second review session the city has held in its month-long process to approve next year's budget. Commission's deadline to make a decision is the end of the month. The only problem is the city hasn't been able to estimate the cost of water and sewer because a rate study will not be finished until July. Now the question is, if the budget needs to be finalized before the study is done, how will the city estimate the recommended cost of these funds? Commissioners are considering making an estimate of the cost without the study to meet the deadline. Another alternative would be to approve the budget as is and then come back later and adjust it once that study is released.
And west of Butte, dozens of Ramsey residents attended a public hearing last night to address concerns about the proposed Love's Travel Center. Several officials from the Butte Silverbow, including Chief Executive Dave Palmer and Sheriff Ed Lester, took questions and heard concerns from residents who worry increased traffic will bring more crime, noise, pollution, and traffic hazards to the town. Officials with the Montana Department of Transportation told residents Love's must first receive and meet several requirements before the state will issue permits to set up business there.
Sure that development that occurs in a safe manner, that they mitigate the impacts that they have to our roadways, our bridges, our bike paths, our pedestrian facilities, our water quality.
Residents also expressed concerns about losing property value if the truck stop moves next to the town.
Elsewhere, the sale of the Emerson lawn officially went through on Friday. Emerson Center for the Arts and Culture purchased the lawn from the Bozeman School District for a closing price of just under $3 million. The center wasn't quite able to come up with the purchase debt-free, falling short of its $300,000 fundraising goal. But the community's generosity bodes well for the center's future development plans for the lawn.
Yeah, you know, it's a little bit surreal. It's really, really exciting. We're so humbled by the outpouring of community support. We had over 400 donors in just a period of about 4 months from when we actively started fundraising to when we closed. And so I think that's the really exciting thing, is just how generous Bozeman was to support this project.
Now we're told the Emerson hopes to raise an additional $1.3 million to carry out its plan for the lawn, which includes a semi-permanent stage and a sculpture garden.
Very cool. And 8 states, including Montana, will be heading to the polls today for primary elections. Democrats are hoping to take back the House, which could mean flipping the 24 GOP seats. One of the tougher battles is in California in Orange County, where Chris Martinez begins our coverage.
See if somebody's home here.
This Southern California district has been solidly Republican for decades. Hans Kierstead is one of the Democratic candidates trying to change that.
Get out the vote.
A scientist specializing in stem cell research, Kierstead says an anti-Trump backlash in Orange County has made incumbent Dana Rohrabacher vulnerable.
This district used to be very right-winged Republican. Now it is very moderate. Rohrabacher's days are over.
But there's an extra twist here in California, where the 2 candidates with the most votes make it to the general election, no matter which party.
I hope you can support me.
Republican primary challenger Scott Baugh is predicting Democrats will be shut out.
The Democrats have banked all their hopes on coming in here and taking this seat from the Republicans. If there are 2 Republicans in the general election, the Democrats lose automatically.
On the East Coast, Democrats are looking for a shakeup in New Jersey. Kenneth Craig is there.
Here in Parsippany, New Jersey, this House district is looking at a competitive race for the first time in years.
This is where we start to flip the House of Representatives.
Navy veteran and former prosecutor Mikey Sherrill is trying to turn this suburban district blue. She says she jumped into District 11's primary race with 4 other Democrats because the Republican in office for more than 2 decades stopped listening.
Representative Frelinghuysen was refusing to hold town hall meetings, was refusing to take phone calls and to hear from his constituents.
Congressman Rodney Frelinghuysen is not seeking re-election.
We'll see you there, okay?
State Assemblyman and Attorney Jay Weber is one of 5 Republicans who want to be his successor.
This seat could go Democrat, but it won't, because we're going to stop him here.
And how do you do that?
We get our message out.
The one thing everyone seems to agree on is that there's a lot at stake, not just for their district, but for the country. Kenneth Craig, CBS News.
Montana is one of the states with a primary election today. The big statewide races here are the Republican to oppose Democratic U.S. Senator John Tester in November, and a Democrat who will take on Republican Greg Gianforte for Congress in the fall as well.
And of course, we'll have complete election night coverage coming up tonight starting at 10 o'clock.
With results also happening tomorrow.
Live interviews with candidates, all of that right here on Montana's television network.
A whole lot of fun.
Yep.
When Montana This Morning returns after a quick break, it's our weekly Montana Made segment, and Chet is taking us to a super cool Bozeman business. It's actually ice cold. When we come back, we go inside the Genuine Ice Cream Company.
But first, let's check in with Nora O'Donnell for a look at what's coming up at 7 on CBS This Morning.
Hey, good morning. Ahead here on CBS This Morning, we're in Guatemala with the difficult rescue efforts to save people believed to be buried under the ash from the deadly volcano. Plus, the new warning from the Better Business Bureau about prize scams and Oprah Winfrey right here in Studio 57. We'll see you right at 7.